Let me be honest with you about something before we get into this list. No brand automatically makes you an amateur golfer. A 15 handicapper with a $350 bag who understands course management will outplay a 30 handicapper carrying $4,000 worth of gear every single time. What we're talking about today is perception. There are certain brands, certain setups, certain visual signals that experienced golfers read instantly as, "This person is probably new to the game." That doesn't mean the gear is bad. It doesn't mean the golfer made a wrong choice. But golf is a sport soaked in culture and unspoken codes, and whether you like it or not, your equipment talks before your swing does. So let's break down 5 golf brand categories that send the loudest "I just started playing" signal on any course in the country. Number 5. Boxed set brands. We're talking about Strata, Top Flight, Tour Edge starter packages, and similar complete in one box kits. These are the sets you find stacked in Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart, usually priced around $300 to $400 for a full bag of clubs plus a putter, a bag, head covers, and sometimes even a towel and a glove thrown in. A full new set of Top Flight clubs costs roughly $350. That gets you a driver, fairway wood, hybrid, 6-irons, a putter, a stand bag, and covers. For context, a single Titleist driver costs more than that entire package. And the brand has a long history. Top Flight goes all the way back to the 1920s when Spalding created it as a golf ball brand. In 2003, Callaway bought Top Flight along with Strata and Ben Hogan for about $125 million. That acquisition gave Callaway roughly 22% of the United States golf ball market. But by 2012, Callaway had sold Top Flight to Dick's Sporting Goods because sales were declining, and the brand had drifted squarely into budget territory. Here's the thing that people don't want to admit. For a first-season golfer, a boxed set is probably the smartest financial decision you can make. You don't know what shaft flex you need. You don't know whether you prefer cavity back or blade irons. You don't even know if you're going to enjoy the sport enough to keep playing past September. Spending $350 to find that out is rational. Spending $3,000 on a custom fitting before you can consistently make contact with the ball is not. The problem is entirely visual. When you show up and literally everything in your bag, every club, every accessory, every head cover is from one matching entry-level brand. Experienced golfers recognize that setup from across the parking lot. It's the golf equivalent of wearing a complete matching tracksuit with the tag still on. Nothing wrong with the clothing, but the signal is unmistakable. Top Flight clubs are designed specifically for forgiveness. They're meant to be easy to hit, and golf review sites consistently describe them as ideal for beginners and junior golfers, while noting that it's not a brand that professionals or low handicappers will flock to. There's no professional tour presence. No PGA Tour players carry Top Flight in competition. Even when players like Hank Queenie and Ricky Barnes had sponsorship deals with the brand, they rarely use the clubs in actual tournament play. That absence from competitive golf reinforces the beginner association every time a casual viewer watches a tournament and sees nothing but Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, and Ping on the broadcast. The honest move here is simple. If you're a new golfer, buy the boxed set, save your money, learn the game, but know that the perception exists. And when you're ready to upgrade, start piece by piece. Replace the driver first, then the irons. Build a mixed bag that reflects your game rather than one purchase decision. Number 4, budget distance golf balls, and this one centers on 2 names in particular, Top Flight balls and Pinnacle. The culture around golf balls is strangely intense. Experienced golfers notice what ball you're playing. They notice on the first tee. They notice when you pull one out of your pocket. And if what comes out is a scuffed Top Flight or a Pinnacle from a bulk pack, a certain assumption follows immediately. Top Flight owns the reputation of distance at all costs in the ball market. They built that reputation over decades by producing hard 2-piece balls that flew far and lasted forever, but felt like hitting a marble around the green. For golfers who lose 6 or 8 balls per round, paying less than $1 per ball makes perfect sense. That's not a bad decision. It's a practical one. But the visual of teeing up a Top Flight while your playing partners are rolling urethane-covered tour balls creates a contrast that's hard to miss. Pinnacle tells a similar story. Owned by Acushnet, the same company behind Titleist, Pinnacle has been making affordable distance balls since the 1970s. The Russian soft models launched around 2016 at $15.99 per dozen, aimed directly at golfers who wanted performance under $20 a dozen. Acushnet themselves marketed the Rush as either longer and softer than other top-selling distance competitors under $20. That's fine positioning for what it is. But Pinnacle has always suffered from a rock-like reputation for feel, and that perception has stuck for decades. The decline is real and measurable. Pinnacle's shelf space in pro shops has shrunk considerably. Some lines like Pinnacle Gold have been discontinued in many markets. The brand is now largely repositioned as a value ball or a corporate giveaway ball, the kind you find in a goodie bag at a charity scramble. When modern mid-priced balls from Callaway, Bridgestone, and others offer multi-layer construction and urethane covers at $30 to $35 a dozen, the price gap between a premium feel ball and a budget distance ball has narrowed enough that Pinnacle's main selling point, raw affordability, carries less weight than it used to. The counter-argument is valid. If you shoot over 100 and you're losing a dozen balls every round, spending $55 on Pro V1s is genuinely wasteful. Playing a $15 dozen until your game improves is smart money management. But the cultural read hasn't changed. Pulling a Pinnacle out of your pocket at a halfway decent course still tells the group you're in the early chapters of your golf story. Number 3. Slazenger. Now this one might surprise people outside the UK, but if you've ever played golf in Britain or browsed budget gear online, you know this name. Slazenger is a heritage British sports brand founded in 1881 by Ralph and Albert Slazenger. They've been supplying the official tennis balls for Wimbledon since 1902. In the 1964 James Bond film Goldfinger, Bond himself plays a Slazenger ball. That's real pedigree, but pedigree doesn't pay the bills in modern golf equipment. Slazenger was acquired by Dunlop Rubber in 1959, then eventually purchased by Sports Direct, now called Fraser's Group, in 2004 for £40 million. And that ownership shift tells you where the brand ended up. Sports Direct is a UK discount retail chain. Slazenger golf clubs are now sold primarily through discount channels, not pro shops or specialized golf retailers. The numbers tell the story. You can find a Slazenger driver in the UK for as little as £25. That's roughly $30 to $40 US depending on the exchange rate. A pack of Slazenger golf balls costs about £13, roughly $17 for 24 balls. Compare that to Titleist Pro V1 at about £43 for 12 balls. You're paying less than a quarter of the premium price per ball. That kind of price gap doesn't just suggest a different product category. It suggests a completely different consumer. Reviews and forum discussions consistently point to quality control issues. Shafts described as too flexible. Components described as lower grade. The clubs are criticized for being too bendy for anyone with a decent swing speed. One Reddit commenter summed it up by saying, Slazenger used to be a premium brand but has kind of fallen off. The decline ties directly to the brand's inability to keep up with research and development in materials, composite shaft technology, and the marketing investment required to maintain tour-level credibility. For beginners, Slazenger makes golf accessible at an extremely low cost. You can outfit a complete bag for less than the price of a single premium iron. That accessibility has genuine value for someone testing the waters. But among experienced golfers, especially in the UK where the brand is most visible, Slazenger gear reads as the entry point. It reads as the first purchase, not the considered one. And nostalgia, even James Bond nostalgia, doesn't carry the weight it used to among younger golfers who judge equipment by current tour performance data, not movie history. Number 2. PXG. And this one flips the script entirely. PXG is not a budget brand. PXG is not beginner equipment. The clubs perform well. Multiple independent reviews confirm strong technical performance across their driver, iron, and wedge lines. The reason PXG ends up on this list isn't about quality. It's about what the brand signals to other golfers. PXG was founded by Bob Parsons, a billionaire who built GoDaddy, and from day one the brand leaned into a loud, aggressive identity. Big screws visible on the club heads, military-themed branding. Premium pricing with drivers ranging from $500 to $700 and iron sets pushing $2,000. The marketing leans heavily into a luxury lifestyle image backed by an enormous advertising budget funded by Parsons himself. The online golf community has been sharply divided on PXG for years. Reddit threads dedicated to the question of what's so bad about PXG consistently reveal the split. Some golfers love the performance and appreciate the direct-to-consumer deals that have become more common as PXG adjusted pricing. Others see the brand as try-hard luxury, equipment that screams, "I bought confidence instead of earning it." The resale market reinforces this perception. PXG clubs reportedly lose 50 to 60% of their value within 2 years on the secondary market, which suggests the initial pricing carries a significant brand tax rather than pure performance value. The amateur signal with PXG isn't about skill level specifically. It's about optics. When a golfer shows up with a full bag of PXG gear, every club stamped with those distinctive logos and screws, and then struggles to break 90, the contrast between the equipment's image and the player's ability creates exactly the mismatch that experienced golfers notice and silently judge. PXG's branding is so loud that it draws attention, and when attention arrives, it stays long enough to watch your swing. The honest take is this: if you play PXG because you tested the clubs, they fit your swing, and you got a good deal during one of their frequent sales, that's a perfectly reasonable equipment choice. But if you chose PXG because the branding made you feel like a better golfer before you hit a single ball, experienced players will sense that from across the range. PXG didn't remove the middleman in golf's equipment market. It became the middleman with better advertising and a more aggressive origin story. The equipment works. The question is whether you're paying for the performance or the persona. Number 1. And this one isn't a single brand at all. It's the head-to-toe, matching outfit, fully branded look at me setup. This is the golfer wearing brand new shoes, a brand new belt, a brand new hat, all from the same label. Tour staff bag with their name embroidered on it, even though they've never competed in anything. Iron covers on every club. An $800 driver with the plastic wrap barely removed. The latest rangefinder clipped to their belt. And no divot repair tool in their pocket. 0 ball marks fixed on the green all day. That contrast between the investment in appearance and the absence of basic course etiquette is the loudest amateur signal in golf. Reddit has entire threads dedicated to what certain golf brand setups say about the player. The community jokes about it constantly, but underneath the humor is a real observation about how golf culture works. The amateur signal is almost never one specific logo. It's the total package. It's the mismatch between how prepared someone looks and how prepared they actually are. Think about what experienced golfers actually carry. Their bags are mixed. A driver from one company, irons from another. A putter they've had for 8 years. A wedge with the grooves worn down from thousands of practice shots. Their shoes are broken in. Their glove has wear marks. They carry a divot tool, extra tees, a Sharpie for marking their ball. Everything in their bag has a story, a reason it's there based on fitting, testing, or years of play. Nothing matches. Nothing is supposed to match. The golfer who looks like a walking brand sponsorship deal but can't get the ball airborne off the fairway has made a very specific announcement. That announcement is I spent more time shopping for this round than practicing for it. And experienced golfers hear that announcement immediately. The apparel side amplifies this. Full matching outfits from a single golf fashion brand, coordinated down to the socks, are a dead giveaway. Golf has always had a dress code, but veterans of the game know that the dress code is about appropriateness, not about looking like you walked out of a catalog shoot. The golfer in a faded polo and 10-year-old FootJoys who shoots 78 will always command more respect than the golfer in a $600 outfit who shoots 108. Every single time. The deeper point beneath all 5 of these categories is that golf culture rewards substance over presentation. The game itself is the ultimate lie detector. You can buy the most expensive driver on the market, but if your swing path is 15 degrees out to in, that driver is going to produce the most premium price slice anyone has ever seen. You can play a $55 a dozen tour ball, but if you're chunking wedge shots, that urethane cover is just going to collect more mud on its way to a disappointing finish. Many experienced golfers will tell you that brand doesn't matter if the fit and the technique are right. A properly fitted set of budget clubs will outperform a badly fitted set of premium clubs on any given day. The stigma attached to certain brands often lags behind the reality of what those brands actually produce. Top Flight's quality has improved over the years, even as the perception stayed frozen in place. Wilson's staff line competes seriously at the performance level, even though their entry-level sets carry a beginner reputation. Wilson has been in golf since 1914. Legends like Gene Sarazen and Arnold Palmer played Wilson equipment. But the public perception of non-staff Wilson gear has drifted so far toward budget starter set that even mentioning the brand draws a specific reaction in most golf circles. The real amateur move in golf has never been about which logo is on your clubs. It's about caring more about looking like a golfer than understanding your game. It's about buying a tour staff bag before you know what loft your pitching wedge is. It's about spending $400 on a fitting for a driver when you haven't taken a single lesson on how to swing it. It's about choosing gear based on what you want other golfers to think instead of what actually helps you play better. The smartest golfer in any foursome isn't the one with the newest equipment. It's the one who knows exactly why each club is in their bag, how far they hit it, and what shot shape to expect. That knowledge doesn't come from a brand name. It comes from rounds played, lessons taken, and range sessions logged. No sticker on a club head can replace any of that. So if you're playing Top Flight because you just picked up the game 3 months ago and you're not sure you want to invest thousands yet, that's smart. If you're playing Pinnacle because you lose a dozen balls around and you'd rather lose cheap ones, that's rational. If you're playing PXG because you tested every brand and PXG fit your swing best, that's perfectly defensible. The brand only screams amateur when the brand is the entire identity and the game isn't backing it up. Fix your swing before you fix your image and the perception problem solves itself.